Welcome to the show, everyone. Tennessee Wildcast, your weekly podcast show brought to you by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, statewide, nationwide, across the universe, wherever. If you got access to a computer, a laptop, an iPad, a telephone,
we're out there.
We're out there, and we want you to watch it. It's all about the TWRA and what we do, and it relates to sportsmen. If you hunt or fish, and sometimes shows we talk about wildlife viewing. We're going to talk about that in a minute with the subject we got. And occasionally we bring some folks in here and let them talk about hunting and fishing, how they do it. And I'm going to do more of that in time ahead.
Everything outdoors and trying to make it better for you to find out what's going on, and y'all get out there and enjoy it.
That's right. I'm Doug Markham. That's Jason Harmon.
Good
our guest is, well, our guest.
Oh, did we forget that
this
week?
Guest.
Uh-oh. What are we going to do, Doug?
I don't know. That's what we're going to figure out here in the next little bit that
next
we're on
few
the
minutes
air.
you're stuck with us, I guess.
That's right, we are. We want to talk to you this week. There's so much about to break loose. We got hunting season, the deer season about to open up, and want to get everybody caught up on what's going on with seasons and some changes that are made and places to point you to see where those changes are made. And Jason's got all kinds of information where you can be interactive with the agency, and we develop stuff because we want you to be. We want you to send us photographs and go on Facebook and Twitter with us and
get involved.
And just get involved with what you're outdoors. And we got a lot of cool stuff going on and a lot of things to tell you today. And this is kind of Jason's baby. He is, if you didn't know it, Jason is the social media specialist at the Tennessee Wildlife Resources
Can you believe
Agency.
it? No.
And video guy and builder. He's our carpenter. We were working on our office, and I got to say, Jason's done an outstanding job.
Thanks, Doug.
Using all this. If I was reviewing you, I'd say you did outstanding work.
Oh, well, really? Okay. Well, that's good to know. That's good to know.
You see the wood around us. I like it because it's barnwood, and it's actually taken from Haley Jake with Wildlife Management Area, which is an old. It's not an old WMA, but it's an old barn on a WMA that we got about 20 years ago here in Middle Tennessee, and so we got a piece of history in here with us. And Jason's design, the wainscot, and just really done a great job with it, Jason.
The Haley Jake with WMA Studio B.
All right. Tell them how they can get involved with this.
Yeah, one of the big things that we're doing on our website that we want y'all to get involved with is Tagboard. And I don't know if y'all have heard of Tagboard, but we started it about a year ago, and it's a way for you to...
We became involved with it about a year ago.
Yeah, became involved. Yeah, it was started by somebody else. But anyway, it's a way for you all, the public, to send us your photos and get involved in and letting us see what y'all are getting into out there in the outdoors. So let me pull it up for you folks at home to see what this looks like. If you go to our website, tnwildlife.org, and you can scroll down and see at the bottom under featured links, you got TWRA Tagboard and you've got TWRA Trophy Room. We've always had the Trophy Room, but we've revamped it a little bit, and you're about to see how we've done that. But if you click on the TN Wildlife TWRA Tagboard, it'll take you to this page right here. And this is our tagboard. And if you hashtag the word TN Wildlife on any of those social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Flickr, Pinterest, Google Plus, or Vine, and you post a picture and hashtag TN Wildlife, it will be sent to us, to our tag board, and we will feature it and try to get them up there as quick as possible. But you can see your photos, and we can see you all enjoying the outdoors simply by hashtagging TN Wildlife in your post on your favorite social media site. Out of those 6, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Flickr, Pinterest, Google Plus, or Vine. It's that easy. Doug, I think you could do this.
I don't know about that. I might get by with Twitter, maybe Facebook.
Now, one more thing. All you hunters out there, it's about to be deer season, squirrel season is already in going on, and dove season's already kicked in.
And I want to say this. You started Trophy Room, Jason. It's been really popular. You started it a few years back, and it has, because of this tag board, we're taking it to making it a different look and making it easier. But this was your baby from years back, and it's done really well.
Yeah, we've had it's amazing how many entries you get during deer season. That's one of our biggest seasons.
Well, I want you to know.
Yeah,
because it's about to start.
This is when we need to get your all's entries in. So just if you kill a deer or catch a fish or kill a squirrel or whatever
your trophy is.
Yeah, your trophy can be a doe, it can be a buck, it could be, a 3-inch beard, a 10-inch beard, it doesn't matter, turkey, whatever you catch. And I want to see those kids out there having a good time. But you just hashtag TN Trophy Room, and it will go to this board.
And let me say this. Don't be shy about putting yourself in the photo. Getting the photographs of your critters, that's one thing. You with your critters, that's something else, or with your fish. And I just appreciate everybody sending whatever they send in. That's a cool way of putting together a shot.
And see, that's a real neat shot right there.
Yeah, that's clever.
And this guy, if you can see in the blue text, he did hashtag squirrel hunt and squirrel hunter and all that. But he also hashtag TN Trophy Room, and that's how it got to our board. So that's how you do it. You got to make sure you use hashtag TN Trophy Room or hashtag TN Wildlife.
Tell us a little bit about it too, and let us know what's going on across the state. Wherever you are, you don't care where they come from.
Where you were hunting, or how you took the game, whether it's a muzzleloader, gun, bow, just a little bit of story behind it.
All right. Yeah. Okay. What else we got?
You wanted to hit on Facebook a little bit.
I do. We are. Within another few weeks, we're going to merge all our Facebook pages. We're going to merge regions 1, 2, 3, 4 with the statewide and just call it TWRA. And you're going to see some terrific stuff. If you've been missing it from our regions that are outside of where we do it, we've been sharing a lot with them lately, putting them out there. But we don't share everything that they do in the regions, and they do so much. And you're going to see a lot of cool stuff off the plateau, out of East Tennessee, West Tennessee, Middle Tennessee, and make it all easy. Just finally make it to where folks can come to one site and find everything they want. And you can also participate with us there. If you're going to ask us questions, we like for it to come through messaging. We don't always answer everything right there on the home page, especially if it gets into some pretty elaborate law enforcement questions. It's just not a good place for us to do it. If you message us, we'll talk to you. We might send you a telephone number or a website address or something to help you out to get the answer that you need. And I'll ask you to do this on Facebook. When we post something, stick to the subject. If you're going to talk about something else underneath it, it probably won't stay out there. Yeah. So we want to have a good Facebook with you and a good relationship with you, and don't want to be mad at anybody. Just want folks to learn from what we're doing and what you guys pay your dollars for the management of wildlife across Tennessee.
Yeah, and as you can see, you folks at home watching, you can see, we've got a TWRA Region 3 post and a Region 2 post here. We'll specify where it's coming from the region, but it'll be directly posted. It won't have to be a share. It'll be right here on our page every time.
The coordinators out there are just doing terrific work with some of the videos and photographs that they're putting out there. There's a thing on sturgeon there, and you just never know from day to day what we're going to be out there talking about. Anything from hunting, fishing to wildlife viewing, all across the state. We also have a Twitter account, and the Twitter account is growing. We're going to be very busy on it right now. That's a cool shot. We're going to be very busy on it right now, Twittering a lot, because we have these seasons beginning to open. On the 24th, archery's going to open. This coming weekend, we have our commission meeting that's over in Pickwick State Park. And they're going to talk about commercial fishing. They talked about that a lot last month, but this month they'll reiterate it some and talk about sport fishing, the regulations that are going to be set for next year. And then in October, when they meet in Knoxville, the fishing regulations will be set for the coming year. But if you want to keep up with what's going on during this next commission meeting, you can Twitter with us. We'll post it on Facebook too, but you can keep up almost live time on Twitter with what they're doing, what their recommendation, what changes there might be next year. And Twitter's growing. It's not anywhere near the size of our Facebook, but we weren't that active on it for a while, and now we're very active on it.
Yeah.
And we plan on staying active with it and getting stuff out there for you.
And talking about the commission meeting, you can watch those after the fact. They're not live, but they're up a few hours after the meeting's over. Maybe 2 or 3 hours, maybe take longer than that. But anyway, you can go to twra.tv. That's our new TV network, and you can watch all the commission meetings right there. And
a lot of pretty darn good shows out there. It's growing all the time. TWRA.tv, and including this one, right, Jason?
Yeah, if you're watching this show on TWRA TV, you already know how to get there. And but you can watch this show all kinds of places.
And I want to finish up too. That's just some of the things we're doing. Our website, I mean, we talk about it all the time. tnwildlife.org. Probably going to get about 3 million visitors this year to the site, and we're always working to try to make it better, trying to get it better all the time, figure out what's the best way to put the information out there, the easiest for you to find it. And always open to suggestions if you have them. So let us know.
Go ahead and say this too. We're going to be giving away a T-shirt this next week. If you like or share this episode,
let's just have them share.
Share it. All right. If you share this show, and we'll post this show on Facebook, so you can share it, and we'll draw a name out of the hat.
We did a couple weeks ago and gave away a nice shirt. We sent it to you. TN Wildcats, we want folks to know about it. It's important to us for you to learn what's going on with us through the state. And we do this in part because we've worked for years with some good press folks and some great press folks out there, and we love working with them, but at the same time, we have more than what we can possibly work through the press all the time. You know, they can't just hang out with us 24/7. So we like to do additional stuff so we can get things out there through our media that you may not be able to get anywhere else.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about some other stuff. Let's talk about some changes. Well, let's talk about firing ranges first, shooting ranges,
Sure.
before we get into some of the changes that are happening this year. Our commission, last time it met, it was Crossville, and they decided to change. I don't know if it's a rule, regulation, proclamation. I forget what they called it, but what it is, you don't have to go buy a fee, pay a fee anymore if you have a Tennessee license to
Hunting
go
license.
shoot.
Yeah.
Tennessee hunting license to go shoot on a range that we consider unmanned. Now, if it's manned, if it's like Stones River shooting range here in Middle Tennessee, where you have RSO, range safety officers, and full-time staffers that are there, you still got to pay the fee there because it's expensive as heck to run the place. But if it's other places like Cheatham Wildlife Management Area, or over in Region 3, if it's like Genesis Checking Station or Catoosa or Prentice Cooper, none of those they're not manned all the time.
Right.
So you can go with a Tennessee hunting license and you can shoot for nothing on those things. Okay. It might be worth some of you going to get a license.
Yeah.
If you're just shooters. Now you do need to be careful. There is one range that comes to mind in Middle Tennessee called Yanali. It's not for everybody. It's just for if you're going to go sight in a rifle for deer hunting, not to go over there and just sight in your rifle because you like shooting. It's definitely for deer hunting. But most of them you can go do a lot of different things on. We do have a few of our ranges on U.S. Forest property, South Cherokee WMA and North Cumberland WMA. These are firing ranges that are shooting ranges that also charge, in addition to our fees, they charge a couple bucks per vehicle to come in there. I might correct myself next week, but I believe you still got to pay those couple of bucks, all right? But you don't have to pay the fee to shoot.
Yeah, don't take our word for everything. Make sure you check your hunting guide.
Check your guide, and that's on page 34, and also check the times that they're open and closed. And some of them, like Yanali, I mentioned, are open only parts of the year. They're open right before the hunting season. That one is anyway.
Yeah. Check those hours, check those fees. But that's one thing that they put in place this past month is
that's a few weeks ago.
Have that hunting license. You can shoot on those unmanned ranges.
Okay. So that's it. And man, this guide that's out, it's got so much information that you need to refer to before you ever get out, and you can get to it on our website electronically, but it's hard copy form. It's all over the state now. I'm going to put my glasses back on, but it's all over the state now, and you can find it everywhere or on our site. And I'm going to tell you now, and we're going to talk about some of those, Jasons, but on the guide, come into page, I think it's 6. Come on there, and you want to find out what's new for 2016-17, and that's going to help you. Some of you haven't really paid attention to hunting yet because you're just now getting back into it. Some of these regulations were passed months ago, and we talked about them a lot. But some of you were off fishing somewhere, vacationing, and now you're back in the world of hunting, and you need to check out what's going on. Jason, you could tell us right off what's one of the big changes of the year.
You caught me off guard. Oh, the antler restrictions.
Yeah, there you go.
That's it. Antler restrictions.
You're thinking about your computer.
I was thinking about. I got the what's new up here.
Yeah. All right. That's right. That very thing at the top is there's a change in what constitutes a buck, right? Mm-hmm. And what constitutes a buck used to be if the antlers were longer than they were 3 inches above 3 inches. Now it's if it breaks the skin, if the antlers come through that skin, on that deer's head, you got a buck.
That's a buck.
And so you really need to be careful. If you don't want to get all your bucks and get it over with, you better be careful. Now, a lot of people say, well, what about a
button buck?
A button buck, thank you. What about a button buck? If it hadn't broke the skin, then you're okay, right?
If you see a horn, if it breaks the skin, it's got to break the skin.
And your bag limit is 2 a year across the state. So that's new this year. The commission did it back in the spring. They passed that when we met over on Woods Reservoir, AEDC here in Middle Tennessee, and that's what the law is now. So make sure you don't get too many bucks too quick. And also make sure this year you check out the map. We have a new map in our hunting guide that shows you units that have changed across the state.
Yeah, let me scroll down for the folks at home watching. You can see this.
Yeah. If you're listening, you can go on, and of course you can watch it on TWA.tv if you want to go see what we're talking about. If you're watching us, listen to us just on TN Wildcast. But there's your new hunting units right there. And you're going to have, I saw somebody post on Facebook the other day that they didn't have very many doe opportunities. You got a ton of doe opportunities.
Oh, yeah.
Many doe opportunities. And you can see where the units are broken down. We have 5 units now, with Unit L continuing to be the most liberal area where the deer population tends to be a little heavier than it is in the rest of the state. But you got good deer across the state. And
looking at that map, that's amazing. About half the state, you could shoot 3 does a day.
yeah,
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot of opportunity out there, and because we have a whole lot of deer. And there's your seasons, Jason. Talk about that archery coming up on September 24th.
24th, yeah. We'll start the archery season, and then I'll run through the 28th of October, and then you'll have a short October 31st to the 4th for your archery season. And that little break in there gives the young sportsman an opportunity. That's on October the 29th through the 30th. And they can hunt with whatever, gun, muzzle, or archery, either way, whatever they want to do. And still $2 per hunter for the whole season. Don't forget about that. And then after archery season, muzzleloader rolls in, then gun. So you can see that if you're watching. And always check the guide. This is on page 22 of the hunting guide that shows you each season. So.
I want to remind archers there's a change in turkey too. But you archery-only hunters, if you're out there during these seasons, you can hunt a turkey, either sex during the archery-only season.
Yep.
And it's a great time. You might not come home with a deer, but you might come home with a turkey. But once you get that one bird, you're done for the year on your turkey. Now, you'll see there under shotgun archery, there is a season, October 15th to 28th. That's the fall season. That is an either sex season. You can get one bird during that season if you haven't bagged anything yet already as an archery hunter. If you're going out with a shotgun, one bird per county is what it really is. If you want to cross counties that are open, then you can get another bird. But if, say, you're in one of the counties that are open and you get it the first day, you're done. If you don't want to cross county. If you don't go over and see your granddaddy over in another county, then you're done.
And make sure you check the guide. Page 32 is the fall turkey regulations. One turkey, either sex, per county, except there's a few excepts right there. Bledsoe, Bradley, Crockett, Dyer, Giles, Haywood, Lake, Lauderdale, Lawrence, Loudon, McMahon, Monroe, Polk, Shelby, Tipton, Unicoi, and Wayne. So make sure you check your guide, page 32, on those fall regulations.
And that reminds me, too, looking at 3 of the counties on there that are in southern Middle Tennessee, those counties are open, of course, in the spring. I think they all are in the spring. But a little bit of concern down there going on with those counties with a dip in the numbers in the southern Middle Tennessee. And I believe a study is beginning, or maybe has already started in the last few weeks. It was supposed to start right around now on turkey populations in that general area that will be used to try to hopefully help explain what's going on with turkey populations across Tennessee. Yep. I mean, it's just an examination of after all these years of all these birds being stocked, or released is a better word, years ago, and have they reached carrying capacity? Can they continue to grow? Can we expect for them to fall down in numbers? But it's a university study that's taking place that we'll get some of the pros upstairs to come in here and talk about more as it goes on and when it's happening. Maybe even some of the people from the university to come in and talk about how what's going on with that.
Can we jump back to deer real quick?
Sure.
I know we had some great shots here that'll help you understand antlered and antlerless. Folks at home watching, here's some images of antlered deer.
Yeah, I'm glad you threw that up there.
You can go from 8-point buck to little bitty nubs just sticking out past the skin, as you can see right there. That's a buck. Now, if you check this slide out, antlerless deer, you might see little nubs, but if they're not coming through the skin,
perfect shot
antlerless.
There. The ones on the bottom, perfect shot of that was a concern when the ones who heard us first talking about the new regulation was what about button bucks? Well, if it didn't broke the skin, then it's not a buck yet.
Yep.
So
I just wanted to throw that out there before we move on. You want to talk about some bears?
Sure.
Now that season is about to heat up.
Yeah, and I want to remind you, there's so many shows that we've already done. If you're just learning where we are, where we've talked a lot about some of the stuff in detail, our shows stay out on TN Wildcast and TWRA.tv and YouTube if you go into YouTube out there. And one of the ones we really enjoyed a lot was Dan Gibbs, who came on here about a month ago and talked about bears. And if you haven't seen it yet, you ought to stay in and watch that show.
Yeah, that's a good one. He's a great guy. He knows a lot about bears, and it very informative.
Okay, well, let's show them kind of what's going on there.
Here's your seasons. I'll zoom in here for everybody watching. It's got bear zones 1, 2, 3, and 4. I think that was that transitioned last year. I believe we started the new zones. And so just make sure you check your zone, make sure which county you're in, and you're in the right zone. And then here's your seasons.
That's good. I was trying to find the first one that starts is October 1st. Now I see one September 24th, archery only.
Yep.
So you guys are about to get going too over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, September 24th to October 21st, and
that's no dogs. Looks like for that season.
That bear hunting is not something I've never done. I've never bear hunted.
Me neither.
And I'd love to get a bear hunter on here one of these days and talk to a bear hunter.
Why don't we just go bear hunting and talk to him there?
We could follow them around,
okay, all right.
and see what they do. There's bears with dogs and bears without dogs, and it's just such a great big tradition over in parts of the state. So make sure that you see that without a doubt.
And that's on, we'll just reiterate, that's on page 28. So all your bear regs and your hunting guides on page 28.
And also, we were going to start with it, and we just went the way we went, Jason. But, got some small game that started.
Yeah, we could show that too. It's in the hunting guide. Just above the deer, it starts talking about small game somewhere around page 16.
We got a lot of commercials in the guide too.
Yeah.
Get to see that. Anyway.
There's the fall turkey, spring turkey, grouse, rabbit, quail. Let's see. Rabbit and quail starts November. It's going to be a little bit later.
I did a lot of rabbit hunting in my days years ago with Norman Bates and couldn't wait till it started and loved the February time of the year because it was just so active. But you got squirrel underway right now. Grouse is underway. No, it's not underway. It starts October 8th, pardon me. 8th, yeah. You've got the dove season that is underway until September the 28th. And then you got Canada goose that it's coming to an end this weekend, and the wood duck teal is going to end here in a few days also. So you just got to kind of stay up on it in the guide. Teal only, though, continues for a few extra days. That started a couple years ago. If you happen to know where some blue wing or green wing teal is, you can get out there and still go after them, and it gives the waterfowl hunters something to do before they get ready for their big season there. Speaking of waterfowl, want to remind them that their time's coming up. I don't have the October date right in front of me, but October is traditionally when you have to go in and these things right here, if they're looking like this, then you're liable to get them. You're liable not to get to use them. You got to go in and have them ready for the season.
Yeah.
And that date's coming up pretty soon, and it will be here before you know it. We will be before you know it, we're going to be hunting waterfowl.
Yep.
You got anything?
I'm looking forward to that because one of my buddies drew a blind on Old Hickory, so maybe I'll get to do some waterfowl.
You got lucky at that waterfowl blind drawing. And Jason and I have been trying to get this show done before. We got construction here at TWRA. It's been going on now for about 4 months. If you watch the show a lot, you hear it below us, around us, and you might hear it for another year. And so we're trying to get the shows done best we can without too much drilling going on. But the agency's going through a kind of an air conditioning facelift.
Yeah.
So we got workers around here all the time, and they're all around us. And our studio changes from time to time because we have to be places.
Yep.
So just stay with us.
Yeah, that's a lot of information we gave them today.
It is. We'll have a guest back on here next week. We got a lot of people who want to tell you a lot of things coming up. And with so much to go, and keep you tuned in with us and be educated, be smart about what's going on out there.
Watch out for that Facebook transition. That's going to be a big thing. And the commission meetings will be posted online after this week, after this week's meetings.
Yeah, and I don't think we're going to have a great big. We know we're not going to have a controversial thing over there, but there might be some subtle changes in some of your fishing that you want to see. We hadn't had a whole lot of changes in recent years, but there may be a few things you want to look at. And again, you can Twitter with us. It's TN Wildlife is our Twitter handle, TN Wildlife. Follow us out there. We'll be talking about it this week. We'll let you know what's going on. And then in October, you can see exactly what happens, why it's happening.
And you can follow the director at TWRA Director on Twitter.
Ed Carter.
Yep.
It's fun to follow and see what he's doing at times when he's getting busy on it. Sometimes he's too busy to get busy.
Hey, let's mention our show from last week, Krill Clerks. We
Okay.
talked about Krill Clerks last week and had Mr. Bones on with us.
We did. Bones was on, Bones Burn. This is Al Bartolotto. You Middle Tennesseans know him. He logs about 900 million miles a year on his boat.
Yeah.
But they go around and they try to find out what you're catching, how long you've been out there, and look at your fish and document all that, and it helps TWA with its data information. So if you see a person like Al come along, he's about as nice as they get. But they're all our krill clerks across the state are just great folks, and help them out. And because you're helping out yourself, and glad you threw that up there too. We've talked a lot about shooting and hunting and all that. But fall brings on a lot of good fishing, and of course the big public lakes are always there for you. But if you want to go to these smaller lakes, this is a small lake in Bedford Lake in Middle Tennessee, but we've got Middle and West Tennessee 14, 15, 16 lakes that are all about fishing. That's what you do on them, and they'll provide good fall fishing. Of course, that's a summer shot because we're still in summer.
Yeah.
But fall will be here before you know it, and the fishing on these little lakes will be good. They're stocked with bluegill a lot, with shellcracker or red ear, with catfish, with bass. They get a lot of fish in them, and the guys out there, the hatcheries, work with those state lakes, and they try to keep these lakes in good condition so that you can go out there and have a decent chance of catching a fish, Jason, which is where maybe we both should go.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we should do that. But hunting season's right around the corner.
I'll go there. You go hunting.
I'll get in
all
the
right?
tree stand.
Yep.
I was going to say, if in the future, we talked about having a show where we ID some fish and help the fishermen, ID their fish a little easier, and maybe have Bones back or somebody like that to talk about fish. So
we could do that. That'd be
future.
a fun show, and not IDing just the bass and the crappie and the bluegill,
But
everything. We might get into some of those little old darters. I think Bones was talking to us during a break. I don't think we talked about it on air last week about microfishing, a new fad that's going on there where people are going out and fishing for stuff this long, trying to figure out what hook sizes to use and what baits to use, and that it's all about the challenge, right?
And you know what? That could be a trophy for the trophy room. Just that big could
if
be
it's
the
a trophy to you, it's a trophy.
If you can catch it with a really small hook, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, well, that's what they do, and it got him Dr. Ettenauer, who wrote that, helped write along with Professor Starnes that great book on Tennessee fish. I can remember years ago, a guy named David Sims, who's worked for us forever, he's a fish biologist, saying that he had a contest in his class that was microfishing way back then. His students went out and they fished on bodies of water, and the ones that could catch the most fish, using whatever method, I think kind of won. I don't know if they got an A or a B or just won a trophy or what they did, but it was a competition that Dr. Ettenauer was behind. It sounded pretty fun to me.
That's pretty cool.
I'm all about catching little fish. So probably if I fish for a little fish, I'd catch a big fish.
You might fail the class, though.
I'm pretty sure I would fail that class. So anyway, let's tell them one more time before we get out here about tag board, okay? If you didn't see the very beginning or if you've already forgotten, tell them about tag board.
You've got to tag your shots. Tag your hashtag your photos on your favorite social media site. Just y'all out having fun in the outdoors, pictures of the outdoors, hashtag them TN Wildlife. Now, if you're hunting and you want to have your photo go to the trophy room, hashtag TN Trophy Room. And you can see examples of that on our website. Just scroll down to the featured links. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Share this show. We're going to post on our Facebook today or tomorrow, sometime this week, this show. And just share it. All you got to do is share it. And
share it and win a T-shirt.
Share it and win a T-shirt. We'll draw a name, and you'll get to go home, or we'll send you a Wildcast T-shirt.
We'll send it to you.
Yeah. And Mr. Derek Posey, I believe, was the guy that won the last shirt. So that's awesome. We're going to try to give away more of those, and we've got some hats ordered, and we'll send you those. Put those out for winnings as well in the future.
All right, and hey, one of the shows in the future that I want to tell you about is the TWA is going to go through a kind of a licensing change, and
just a vendor change.
It's a vendor change. It's not increasing dollars. Not happening. Going through a vendor change. That's a good way of putting it, Jason. And we're going to talk about it in a few weeks because it will make a difference in some things you do.
Easier.
It's going to be easier, and you're going to like it.
You're going to love it.
Yeah, you are. I think you're going to love it because the other states that are doing it, their customers, love it.
Yeah.
All right, we managed to get through 30, Jason.
Hey, 30 minutes with Doug and Jason on Tennessee's Wildcast.
All right, everybody. Hey, don't forget, all our shows are out there from all the weeks past. We got a lot more shows to go for you. And I promise we're going to bring you a lot of cool information. Just tell your friends about us.
Yeah.
Win a
Thanks for
t-shirt.
joining us, and remember to share this show.
See you next week.
See ya.